Meet Serena, your virtual companion for emotional support. The ultimate safe space to discuss your thoughts, your fears, and the ups and downs of daily life. Start your free trial today at serena.chat.
Am I the asshole for dismissing my rude teen daughter's feelings? Read the edit below. Thank you for the comments, everyone. Hi, am I out of line? I'm F45, and my daughter is 18. Recently, my terminally ill aunt died a week after summer break started. After a few months of her quick deterioration and just a few days of being in hospice because she had no response to treatment. My daughter has always been a closed-off, reserved person. However, she's a little immature when she doesn't get what she wants, and is very snide and in your face sometimes during those occasions. When my aunt died, my sister came over and has been here ever since, for about 4 weeks now, when we arranged the funeral and reception. My daughter did not cry or look upset at all, even though she'd sometimes go to look after her great-aunt on the days her great-uncle needed to go out, since she was bedbound and completely paralyzed and unable to speak. You'd expect some sort of reaction, right? But she had none. She'd avoid her great-aunt a lot, and never talk to me about her. For this reason, I assumed she was just detached as a lot of children usually are, and left her alone. However, since her aunt and her 3 young children came to stay, she has been very bratty, and complains when she has to clean up after them because they're quite spoiled. She's like this every time they come to stay, because my sister is quite an unhygienic person and she and her children have had lice for years. She didn't say anything to them since my aunt is grieving, so she hides in her room for the whole day because she feels stuffy and repulsed. Always asking me when they will leave. I understand why she feels this way. I don't like how the children and my sister crowd my home and not clean up after themselves. But they're family, and we're grieving even if she's not. She even hated the reception, not serving the guests, family and family friends. And looking annoyed when I told her to, as she said she just wanted to sit there. It was very embarrassing for me. All she needed to do was hand out water. I told her not to be too mean, as their family and her aunt is grieving, but she, being immature, narrowed her eyes at me and told me she feels trapped in this house, wanting space, before she went back to her room. Even when I ask her to come downstairs and spend time with me. She's usually a sweet girl. Very smart and mature, even emotionally, and very perceptive. But for the past few weeks she's been more reclusive and bratty than usual. Even more so than other times when her aunt has been around. Am I right in being dismissive of her attitude and feelings? It seems to me, as of recently, there's been a bad change in her. Even if she doesn't care about her great-aunt dying. Someone who has taken care of her before developing this illness and who she has known since she was young, she should at least think of her aunt's needs. Honestly, I'm quite annoyed. My mother told me I should just leave her alone to herself, but she needs to be kinder. Edit. Hello, everyone. Thank you for all the comments you've left, they have really opened my eyes to a lot of the stuff I had a responsibility to notice, but did not. I admit that tradition has influenced a lot of my decisions and my own personality and that has in turn affected my daughter, as much as I ignored it. I will be having a long discussion with my sister about her problems, trying to sort her hygiene out as well as making her go back home, and giving my daughter a much-needed apology. I don't want to lose her, as many of you had pointed out that the longer I continue on this route, the higher the likelihood she'll cut me off. I'll talk to her, and I'll try to help her however she needs me to help. Unfortunately, I am not in America, but I have called the social services on my sister before and they closed the case after a very short investigation. I will not be calling them again due to their terrible service, but I will force my sister to get her act together by completely barring her from my house until she takes my advice. Only until she has begun to take care of her own kids, will I allow her near my own. I will also be trying my best to earn my child's forgiveness. Once again, thank you for calling me out on my behavior. I need to change for my daughter. This has gone on far too long, and it isn't fair on her. However, since her aunt and her 3 young children came to stay, she has been very bratty, and complains when she has to clean up after them because they're quite spoiled. Did your daughter invite your sister and her 3 kids to stay with you? If not, she shouldn't have to clean up after them. You shouldn't even be letting them into the house if they've got lice. Go grieve with your sister in her home. You are the asshole. OMGYTA. I simply cannot understand how you can type that out. Read it back to yourself and not think the asshole. So a fake one, again? Or you are the asshole and you are so hopelessly dumb it's not even worth mentioning. Geez. Some people really shouldn't have kids. Here after the edit, but I'm so glad you've updated and you're going to apologize to your daughter. It almost makes me jealous. I wish my mother was as attentive as you are. I hope you and your daughter continue to have a strong, blossoming relationship. Remember to always communicate and be there for her. Am I the asshole for telling my neighbor there's nothing I can do about our kids being loud? Update: my wife and I talked to her and apologized for the noise and let her know we will ask the kids to go to the park more when it gets crazy. She seemed like a boulder had lifted off her shoulders. Thanks everyone for your opinions. We live in a very tight community where the homes are super close together. We moved here because the kids here have tons of freedom. We live in townhomes arranged around a communal driveway. Between our 9 homes there are 17 kids. All the kids play in the communal driveway. They play outside a lot. Again, that's why we moved here. There is one neighbor who just can't stand it. Her home is literally inches, as are all of our homes, from this driveway. Several months ago my 8-year-old son came in the house upset, and when I asked what happened he said, "There's a lady outside yelling at us for playing with the balls." So I go outside to see what he's talking about. This is the very first time I had met this neighbor. She comes up to me hot and angrily explains that the kids are so loud and they are bothering her by bouncing the balls. She says she doesn't know what to do and that she's considering selling her house because of it. All the other parents point out that this is the safest place for the kids to play as it's right outside all of our doors, so we can keep an eye on them, and that we can't ask our kids to just go to a park or stay inside. Ultimately we tell her we will teach them to keep the balls away from her house. But there's not much else we can do as this is a common area and we aren't violating any laws or WA rules. To clarify, this many kids don't play outside every day. Maybe 1-2 times a week, and usually only 4-6 kids. She repeatedly emailed the WA. She almost drove into a crowd of many of us and our kids. She sped into the drive and after seeing us accelerated around a blind corner until she had to slam on her brakes to not hit about 6 kids playing. She then honked her horn and drove into her garage, closing it after her. Shortly after that she dragged all of the parents into a meeting with the WA where she wouldn't even speak on her own behalf. She had her boyfriend speak for her, who doesn't even live here. She claimed to have video evidence of our kids making rude gestures with water balloons. She broke down crying in the meeting and stormed out, leaving him to finish up. The WA told her they didn't want to see the video and that they thought it was weird to record our kids. They also said they were done fielding complaints as this neighborhood supports children playing. They suggested we might just start over and be as kind as we can. We did that and it's been all good for a few months. Cut to yesterday. Probably 20 kids were playing outside all at once. Each household had a friend or 2 over. Her adult daughter comes out and tells my neighbor that the sound is ridiculous and that our kids are so rude and disrespectful. All us parents gathered and decided we just have to tell her that we understand it's loud, but we can't change it. This is the life we all wanted for our kids. They are living their best lives every day. So am I the asshole for telling her, "Sorry it bothers you, but nothing is going to change"? You are the asshole, and your nonchalant responses to everyone confirms that more so. You are the asshole. I have neighbors just like you and they think they own the neighborhood and can run up and down our driveways near our cars and run through our yards, trample our gardens and think everything is just fine and dandy. We can't even have our windows open when it's nice out because it's constant screaming. You are the worst kind of neighbor. Bouncing balls. Do they by any chance also bounce them against your wall? That is absolutely unacceptable. You are the asshole. Why are the children not bouncing the balls on your walls or screaming all the time outside your door? And see how you like, children being children. All the parents of all those kids are the asshole, and in several countries you would have had the police called for disturbing the peace. And yes, I have children who are also young. YTA, do you want her to hit your kid with her car? Stay the fuck out of someone's driveway and yard is not unreasonable demand. Am I the asshole for telling my best friend I won't go to her wedding? Throwaway account. My, F, 24, best friend, F, 22, is getting married in just under 3 weeks. I was supposed to be a bridesmaid, and I've been excited for the wedding since before the engagement. I knew her partner was going to propose. I've helped with making decisions on the wedding, helped with the hen-do, bachelorette party, and bought my bridesmaid dress and booked my hotel. I love them as a couple and they're both my bestest friends. I've been with my boyfriend, M, 24, for 2.5 years and have known him and his family for 10 years. When we first became a couple, he told me his dad has terminal lung cancer. 3 months ago, we found out that the cancer had spread to his brain and he was given 3 months to live. Over that time, his health started to decline slowly, and then suddenly over the last month. Due to all of this, we had to miss the hen do as we would have to be away for a few days, but we didn't want to leave my partner's dad. My best friend and I live 2 hours apart and we don't drive. Trains are expensive and take even longer than driving, so a last-minute rush from the hen do to his dad would be near impossible if anything was to happen. We are now at the end of his dad's prognosis and he is currently in the last stages of death. A few days ago, my best friend demanded an answer on if we would be at the wedding or not. Up until then, we believed we would have been able to attend, but now we are unsure what will happen. As she demanded an answer since she didn't want us to cancel last minute, we decided to decline attending as we didn't want to leave it to the day before. Despite us being heartbroken, we won't be there. A few weeks ago, my best friend said to make my boyfriend's dad the priority over the wedding day. She clearly changed her mind as in response to my message explaining our choice, she only screenshotted it and then instantly kicked me from the bridesmaid group chat. Then she ignored me for the following few days. When she finally responded, she said that she understood why my partner wasn't attending but didn't understand why I wasn't, and she was devastated and angry over the choice. I explained that I refused to leave my partner alone during one of the hardest things he'll experience. Plus his dad also means a lot to me as I went no contact with my dad 2 years ago, and since then, my boyfriend's dad has basically stepped up and been a father figure to me, so I want to be there for him too. I'm also disabled and haven't traveled alone overnight since 2019. She's still really upset and angry and is ignoring me once again. She'd said that a few people in her life were on her side. Yet people in my life understand my POV and are upset and shocked with her. So I'm confused. Am I the asshole? Edit. Just to answer some things, I'm disabled and in a wheelchair, scooter, so I do not have the help or extra arms to bring my things and transport myself alone. She had said that if this was reversed, she would attend the wedding. I told her I could have tried and gone just on the day, but she really needed an answer there and then. I would have found a way to do it, but she wanted a set response. Not the asshole. This is a tough situation to be in, but I think you made the right call. It sucks that your friend can't be more understanding. Nah. This is simply bad timing that no one can do anything about. I can understand why you don't want to leave your boyfriend alone. But also your friend is not wrong for wanting you there. Try attending her wedding alone if possible, but if you can't, you also have to understand that your friendship will be greatly affected by this. Not the asshole. You're doing the right thing by supporting your partner during a truly horrible situation. I'm getting quite frustrated and angry with all these brides who think the whole world should stop and bow down to them because they're getting married. So much emphasis on one day instead of the actual marriage itself. Sending hugs to you, your partner and his family. Not the asshole. Death is forever. There won't be many more opportunities for you to be there for your partner and his father once he's passed. Statistically, your friend will probably get divorced and married again. It's upsetting to not have you there, but she gets to be alive, and for that, you will have more time to spend together. Sorry she doesn't understand that. Nah, both are important. It is a special day for her, so yay, I get she's upset, it's supposed to be about her. But you have a real reason to not be there, so I understand why you can't. Hope you guys get through this as friends.